Okay, can I call a special meeting of council to order for Saturday, September 27th? Take approval of the agenda, please. Councillor Noxana.
That the September 27th, 2025 regular council meeting agenda be adopted as presented.
Seconder, Councillor Dussault. All in favor? Carried. New business, appointment of interim chief financial officer, report dated September 27th, 2025, from the chief administrative officer regarding the appointment of an interim chief financial officer. Recommendations, one at a time. Councillor Julich.
That Lisa Scott be appointed the interim chief financial officer for the district of Tumbler Ridge.
Seconder, Councillor Hoffman. Discussion. Ms. Scott, just a question. You have time for this?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, call the question. All in favor? Carried. Second recommendation, please. Councillor Julich.
That Dustin Curry be appointed as the interim deputy chief financial officer for the district of Tumbler Ridge.
Seconder, Councillor Hoffman, sorry. Any discussion? Councillor Julich.
Just wanting to make sure, I know that Ms. Scott is confident right now for doing this CFO job. I'm just wondering if, I don't know what I'm wondering, sorry, it's too early on Saturday morning. I'm just hoping that we're in the hunt for, obviously, but for the public out there, we're in the hunt for a CFO.
Yeah, that's why it says intern.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Replacement and recycle building boiler. Report dated September 27, 2025 from the Director of Operations and Infrastructure regarding the replacement of the recycle building boiler. Recommendation, Councillor Noxana.
That council approve the allocation of $58,320 from the district's equipment reserve fund for the purchase and installation of the replacement boiler for the district's recycle building, inclusive of applicable taxes and a 30% contingency.
Seconder, Councillor Julich. Ms. Scott, can we just get an overview from staff before we open up for?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, the Director Bradley had brought this to my attention. We had a quick discussion about it, but I believe he can give council a more accurate summary. And so since he is here, I will ask him to provide the summary to council.
Thank you, Ms. Scott, Mayor and Council. Yes, it was brought to my attention on the boiler inspections for 2025 that the boiler that is actually situated down at the recycle building has failed and is non-operational. It is due to it being undersized. So the boiler that we currently had in the building, it was equivalent to running full throttle for the entire heating season. And doing so over 5 years has caused it to prematurely fail.
Thank you. Any discussion or comments from council? Councillor Julich.
Thanks for the report. It's short turnaround time, so it was good. For me, I'm asking the questions mostly just because my first question was why were we doing a boiler, like the difference between radiant and stuff, and as I'm reading, I see that it's in floor heating, so I get why it's a boiler. And is some of the issue due to the overhead doors going up and down? Like, does that make it work harder?
Yeah, it's gonna, definitely when they unload the truck, they have no choice but to open up the door. But yeah, it's gonna obviously push out heat, but Ms. Scott?
Yeah, so again, Director Bradley can provide additional information. When we found out that the boiler failed, we did look into other heating options and what might be a better fit. But again, Director Bradley can provide more information about those questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scott, Mayor and Council. Yes, we did look at radiant heat. One of the issues that we run into with radiant heat in that facility is that sometimes we have to stock materials in there and we stack the materials quite high. It all depends on trucking. Currently, we have this system in place. With the discussion of the boiler, we have an option to purchase a larger boiler that can modulate down so it can meet the heating requirements, but not overexert the boiler that we'd be putting in place.
Thank you. Councillor Hoffman?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just wondering why, if it's only 5 years ago, why we had an undersized boiler in there? Like, did we expand the facility, or what was happening?
Yeah, Ms. Scott?
Director Bradley and I both have been trying to find the previous documentation for when that building was built, the engineered plans, so to try and get a sense of why that particular boiler was recommended. I haven't been able to find that information. I don't believe Director Bradley has either. I don't know if he has any additional information he can provide in terms of why that size of boiler was put in that building, but I'll ask Director Bradley if he has any additional information.
Thank you, Ms. Scott, Mayor and Council. I have also not been able to find the information on this. This has been a quick turnaround, as Ms. Scott had said. It's our only source of heat for that facility. Yeah, I can't speak to what was done previous to me becoming staff member here, but yeah, this would be a viable option, and if we approve it today, I can have it ordered.
Okay. Councillor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Bradley, for coming in on weekend. Yourself, Ms. Scott. My questions just revolve around the size of the boilers required. You know, how many BTUs, if that's the correct unit of measurement, will this boiler produce, and how much is required for the area? Do we have that information? I understand it is pretty short notice.
Ms. Scott?
And again, I'll ask Director Bradley to provide some additional information, but, you know, as you kind of mentioned earlier, the amount of output of heat will depend on how often that door is open. So at different times, it will require more heat or less heat, or more capacity or less capacity. And so the boiler that we're recommending is one that has been recommended to us to be able to meet those requirements. But I will ask Director Bradley if he has additional information.
Thank you, Ms. Scott, Mayor and Council. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for the information. I believe that the boiler that we're putting in is a 300,000 BTU, and the one that's in there is 125 BTU. So it's a significant upgrade. We do have to upgrade the natural gas going into the boiler, minor upgrade, regulator. But yeah, so it is definitely a larger boiler that we'll be putting into place.
Thank you. Any other discussion or comments from council? Just to make a comment, I guess, really don't, I understand tight turnaround. Staff definitely worked to get this report in front of council due to the nature of the boiler. Guess my comment would be, and later on after we're done this, open another recommendation on the floor that we seek, that we get more thorough information, even after the fact, on how we picked a smaller boiler and how that was done. And I understand the staff in the room wasn't the staff here when that was done, but I'd just be curious if we used anybody, if we used a contractor to come and tell us what we needed. And that's what their recommendation was, because I think it's important to find that out. If it was done internally, so be it. But when we look at a short life of a boiler like that, and then looking at the size difference that we're installing compared to what's in there today, to me that really raises an eyebrow that we were way undersized. And I'm quite surprised we didn't have a failure during the winter, which would put us in a really bad situation, especially from the staff side, but also the infrastructure that's within that building. So I'll be supporting the motion on the floor, but there will be a third recommendation coming. Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Second recommendation, please. Councillor Noxano.
That the 2025-2029 five-year financial plan be amended by increasing capital by $58,320 and increasing transfers from reserves by $58,320.
Seconder. Councillor Hoffman. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Third recommendation is we ask staff to bring back a report to council when they can, and getting the details on what happened and what the selection was. Even I heard that the lines that are for the in-floor heating may be smaller than they should have been when it was first built, but if we can just find out how that was dealt with in regards to the design plans of the recycle building. If I can get a seconder, please. Councillor Julich, any discussion on the motion? Councillor Hoffman.
No, I just want to say thank you for that, Mayor. I do think it's important. In the back of my mind, after seeing this, I'm wondering if other decisions like this were made around the town, but let's first figure out how we got to here, and then I think we just have to look back. I mean, I don't want this sort of failure to happen anywhere else either.
Thank you. Councillor Julich.
I'm in favor of the motion. I just, when we have the information, what's the intent to follow up with that? Is there a plan after you have the information?
Depends what kind of information comes forward.
Okay, but I'm just wondering, the intent is to find out, and if there was an error, is that kind of the intent? Or you're just thinking you feel like we need to have the information and then make a decision?
No, I mean, obviously, I've already voted in favor of the funds to get this boiler ordered and installed because we need it.
Oh,
But we're
absolutely.
not holding that up. So my thing is to get the actual information. Staff tried to. I mean, I believe this report was fairly quick getting it in front of the CAO, but also staff trying to build a report for council in the last couple of days to get it in front of us so we can get moving forward. But when we see that there's such a huge difference in size comparison to what we should be having in there, to me, there's a concern. I definitely want to see it. I mean, if it was done internally, okay. Obviously, we probably should, there's nothing we can really do after the fact. People that probably did it internally are no longer with the DTR. But maybe there'd be a policy that comes forward in regards to a building like that. Or if it was used, if there was a contractor that did the drawings for the district and they're the ones that suggested it, there may be a realm of going back to that organization and finding out why. That's what I'm looking for. Councillor Noxana, then Councillor Nober.
Thank you. I'm in favor of this report because regardless if it was a contractor or internal, it would be nice to know how this went wrong and if this company or individual was used to select boilers for other facilities in our, within our municipal buildings, because perhaps they should be looked at as well to make sure that we don't have a February failure. So I'm happy for the motion. It'd be interesting to see what comes back and hopefully that we don't have this issue going forward.
Thank you. Councillor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor Kalka. Yeah, I think it's a good motion to be putting out there so we can get that information. I can see the information being useful in regards to if we did get engineers or whoever to give us advice on these boilers to get, and they give us wrong advice. So, there could be reasons for us not to use that particular organization again. Yeah, I mean, maybe down the line it'll give us some discounts in the future on their services, but I can't see us wanting to if they give us such bad advice on this one. But it's definitely useful. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Ms. Scott, any emailed in questions? No problem. No problem. Thank you. Take adjournment, please. Councillor Noxana.
That the September 27th, 2025 regular council meeting be adjourned.
Seconder, Councillor Dussault. All in favor? Carried. Enjoy your wedding, Councillor.